This video was developed to give the executive a brief overview of the incident command system and the responsibilities of the executive during an actual incident. The executive is the administrator, chief executive officer, or designee of the agency or political subdivision that has responsibility for the incident. This also includes executives from the private sector. For our purpose, executive and agency administrators are synonymous. Incident Command System is a standardized, on-scene, all-risk emergency management concept specifically designed to allow its users to adopt an integrated organizational structure equal to the complexities and demands of single or multiple incidents without being hindered by jurisdictional boundaries. What is an incident? An incident is an occurrence, either human-caused or by natural phenomena, that requires action by emergency service personnel to prevent or minimize loss of life or damage to property and/or natural resources. Examples of incidents include fire, both structural and wildfire, hazardous material situations, search and rescue, oil spills, forest pest eradication, planned events such as parades or political rallies, just to name a few. The Incident Command System has been used nationally on wildland fires since the early 1980s. ICS was used on the Valdez oil spill in Alaska in 1989. ICS was used on Hurricane Hugo in 1990 and Andrew in 1992. ICS was used to manage the security of the World Cup soccer matches held at Giant Stadium in New Jersey in 1994. The Incident Command is organized around 5 major activity areas: command, operations, planning, logistics, and finance administration. Command has overall responsibility at the incident or event. The Incident Commander, or IC, determines objectives and establishes priorities based on the nature of the incident, available resources, and agency policy. The Operations section develops the tactical organization and directs all resources to carry out the Incident Action Plan. The Planning section develops the Incident Action Plan to accomplish the objectives. This section collects and evaluates information and maintains the status of assigned resources. The Logistics section provides resources and all other services needed to support the organization. The Finance Administration section monitors costs related to the incident, provides accounting, procurement, time recording, cost analysis, and overall fiscal guidance. On small incidents, the 5 major activities may be managed by a single individual, the incident commander. On larger incidents, it may be necessary to establish sections because the incident becomes too large and complex for one individual to adequately coordinate all these functions. On larger and more complex incidents, you as the executive will be dealing with the incident commander. You are responsible for ensuring that an appropriately qualified incident commander has been designated for the incident. This individual will be responsible for management of the incident and must be qualified to fill this role. It's very important that the executive provide the incident commander with clear authority, direction, and the support necessary to accomplish agency goals related to the management of the incident or event. This should be a written document that outlines your standards for the incident. ICS is a management system designed to help mitigate the risk of an incident by providing accurate information, strict accountability, planning, and cost-effective operations and logistical support. A few of the major concepts and components may help to understand this incident management system. The use of common terminology is a basic feature of ICS. This terminology applies to the organizational elements, position titles, resources, and facilities. When looking at an organization chart, there's a consistent pattern for designating each level of the organization: section, branch, division. Regardless of rank or title within an agency, Position title identifies those with management or leadership responsibilities in ICS. Each level of the organization has position titles associated with that level, such as officer, chief, leader, or supervisor. In the Incident Command System, resources are listed by kind and type. Kind is the name of the resource, such as helicopter or dozer. Typing indicates the resource size and or capabilities, such as Type 1 helicopter or Type 2 dozer, Type 1 having the most capability. Incident facilities, each with its own function, have been designated. Those facilities are: the Incident Command Post, or ICP, is the location at which the primary command functions are executed. The Incident Base is the location at which the primary logistical functions are coordinated and administered. Staging areas are locations set up at an incident where resources can be placed while waiting for tactical assignment. A helibase is the main location for parking, fueling, maintenance, and loading of helicopters operating in support of an incident. Camps are sites within the general incident area, separated from the incident base, equipped and staffed to provide sleeping, food, water, and sanitary services to incident personnel. You may ask, what's my role if an emergency or disastrous situation or planned occurrence happens within my jurisdiction? As an executive, you establish policy, direction, and allocate authority to the incident commander. What are the implications of an incident to my organization and to myself? Any incident can have a mix of political, economic, social, environmental, and cost implications with serious long-term effects. More and more, incidents are multi-agency and multi-jurisdictional. As the executive, you need to be aware of how ICS and interagency, multi-agency coordination systems can work to ensure a cooperative response effort. By your active support of ICS planning, preparedness, and training activities, the potential implications of an incident can be minimized. How can I maintain control when incidents occur? As the executive, you establish the overall policy and provide guidelines on priorities, objectives, and constraints to a qualified incident commander. In many agencies, this is done as a matter of policy through a written delegation of authority. Where do I fit in the incident management process? ICS has a well-defined hierarchy of command. Once you've clearly articulated the policy you wish followed and delegated certain authorities, the incident commander who reports to you will have the necessary authority and guidance to manage the incident. The IC is the primary person in charge at the incident site. In addition to managing the incident scene, he or she is responsible to keep you informed and updated on all important matters pertaining to the incident. Your continuing role is to ensure that you're informed and that your IC is functioning in a responsible manner. Generally, the executive is not at the scene of the incident, but must have the ability to communicate and meet with the incident commander as needed. Depending on the nature of the incident or the level of the overall emergency, the executive could function from the agency or jurisdiction offices, or at an Emergency Operations Center, EOC, a pre-designated facility established by an agency or jurisdiction to coordinate the overall agency or jurisdictional response and to support the emergency. Or as part of a multi-agency coordinating group, which is a generalized term that describes the functions and activities of representatives of involved agencies and/or jurisdictions who come together to make decisions regarding the prioritizing of critical resources. The MAC organization is not a part of the on-scene ICS and is not involved in developing incident strategy or tactics. How do I ensure that the incident management team is qualified to handle this particular type of incident? These individuals have many years of experience and a great amount of training to become part of these management teams. They have not, in most cases, been thrown together at the last minute to manage an incident. There's been a great deal of thought during the selection process in putting these teams together. As the executive, it's your job to evaluate and correct deficiencies. You're responsible for evaluating the effectiveness of the incident commander. The IC should be graded on a set of criteria you've developed for the incident. The IC should understand agency policy, be proactive, Have a good match between objectives and strategies. Staff the organization to meet the workload. Monitor the span of control and adapt as necessary. Utilize deputies when appropriate. Integrate other agency personnel in appropriate locations. Focus on organizational effectiveness. Delegate authority to command and general staff. Identify problem areas and work to overcome them. Because of today's budget constraints, limited staffing of local, state, and federal agencies, it's not possible for any one agency to handle all of the management and resource needs for the increasing numbers of incidents nationwide. All of these different agencies must work together. There's a need to be able to work in a smooth, coordinated effort under the same management system, so we know who is doing what and who to talk to get needed resources to do the job. That system is the Incident Command System. Module 17, ICS for Executives, will expand on the information presented in this video, and your instructor will be able to answer specific questions you may have about ICS and incident management.